All right, I think we are almost out of the below freezing temperatures. This whole next week is supposed to be, I think, lows in the mid 30s. So I think we should be good. We're gonna try to start planting some stuff, right, Blake?
Yep.
Yeah. So right now we just have gone through and weeded their garden beds. So we are gonna go through and add some wood ash. I'm gonna check the compost, see if I can get some of the compost in, and also maybe go through the chicken coop and see if I can get some of the fertilizer from the chickens in the garden as well. And then mix it in with our garden beds. Try to get that down below so that we've got just more of the soil up top. And then, who did? Moonty?
She's like,
oh, I see her way over there. And then we've got some Red Fife wheat to plant. This is our first time planting wheat. So if you haven't seen, I'm an avid bread maker, and I thought it would be the coolest thing to be able to grow our own wheat. It's probably a very ambitious dream, but you got to start somewhere. So figured we'd give it a shot, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. If it does, awesome. And then also we've got some onions. We got 3 different varieties of onions that we're going to be planting. I got bulbs, and then we also have our garlic, which I think I showed you in my last video. But we got a bunch of garlic growing here already that I planted this whole bed with all these leaves in it. There's garlic plants underneath there. So we've got a bunch, I think we've got like 40 to 50 plants of garlic growing already that I planted in the fall. So they overwintered and they're looking good. So yeah, we'll kind of show you the process and get to it. Here comes Stella. Alright, so, oh, she found a worm.
yeah, she found another one too.
Careful. Good job. They're covering up the wood ash, huh? Oh, just watch those plants. I think those are irises. Not exactly sure. We get our wood ash from our fireplace. We actually just repurpose or recycle all of the ash that we use when we have a wooden fire or wood burning fire in our house. We save it all winter long, and then we repurpose it for our gardens. What are they? Those are from the previous owners. They must have planted potatoes there. How fun. That's a fun surprise, huh?
Yeah, we can wash it. And?
Any worms? Oh, watch out. Here comes Miss Starley.
There's a worm out here.
Oh, snap. Here comes our big girl. Freya. Hi, big girl. Hi, Stelly. You're going after my gloves. What did you get?
I got an egg that's kind of short and And Miles has a
Miles, did you get an egg?
egg.
Well, let's see it. Let me see. Yep, that's a Freya egg. I just kind of tried to clean out a little bit of the chicken coop, and hemp bedding is really awesome because it is super absorbent, and so when the chickens go poo, the moisture from the poo kind of gets absorbed into the hemp bedding, so the poo clumps together really nicely, and then over time, like over the winter season, it kind of dissipates and breaks up, and it forms like a really nice layer of fertilizer, or compost, whatever you want to call it, in the coop. Blake's about to throw up. In the coop over the winter. So now what I do is I go in and I clean out the coop. I had some straw in there, but this is the best stuff I could get. Because the hemp bedding is so absorbent, you'll actually see like a lot of the hemp bedding is still intact, and I almost feel bad putting it on the garden because it would be good to leave, but it's mixed in with a lot of that broken up poo and good fertilizer for the garden. So I'm just going to spread a small thin layer of this over our garden beds and rake it into the soil, and that will be really good fertilizer for our vegetables and stuff to grow this season. So I already have the wood ash in here, and I just put that little layer of compost, or I guess it's the chicken fertilizer, and I'm just kind of gently mixing that into the soil. All right, so here's our Red Fife wheat berries. I guess I need to plant them 1 to 1.5 inches deep. So I made this row here. Can you show them the row? This row of stones to kind of separate the two sections for weed management. So now I'm just going to kind of sprinkle it all throughout here, and then I will cover it up with about 1 inch, 1.5 inches of soil. What are you planting, Blake?
Yellow onion.
Our chickens have now been banned from the garden, even though they keep figuring out a way in, because we are starting to plant. So you can see we've got our red wheat bear, not wheat bears, we have our red onions, white onions, yellow onions that I need to cover up. Then we also have all of our wheat planted, so I'll show you those beds as well. If I can just turn it. So these two beds with these stones in them, we got 2 whole beds of wheat berries planted. So these 2, and then those right there as well. So we'll see, fingers crossed it works for us. I'm also kind of curious to see what the whole harvesting is going to be like for wheat, because you have to first cutting the crop. There are different techniques for small plots of wheat, and then thrashing the wheat to get the seeds, the wheat berries out, and then you have to kind of blow it with a dryer to get the chaff separated from the berries as well. So it's quite the process. So I think starting small is probably the best bet to ensure that I like it and that I stick with it if it actually works. Now the other important thing to think about is sun and shade. So we've got our garden shed here behind us, which does cast a little bit of shade on this garden in particular right here. That faces west right there, so we'll be good. The entire afternoon, this garden right here will be full of sunlight, so I think we should be good. All right, so it's actually supposed to start raining here shortly. Here's our garlic. I think you can actually see the garlic coming up now. So this I planted in the fall. So another thing that I read about in terms of just recycling and reusing, repurposing, which I'm really big on, you know, things that we have, that how can we find another purpose for them after they've served their initial purpose. So I actually saved, and I'm sure you can laugh about it, but I saved a lot of the pine needles from our Christmas tree. It started dropping needles like it just wanted to shed every single one. And so when we went to clean out our Christmas tree, there were tons of pine needles. So we just began sweeping them up and saving them. And it ended up yielding us with like a nice big brown paper bag full of pine needles. So I am actually going to put them and use them as mulch on top of our onion bed. So it helps the soil retain moisture, and it also kind of keeps the bulbs shaded while they are germinating. So I am going to sprinkle some pine needles over top, and that will be our last step today. So here they are. These are all our pine needles. I'm just going to sprinkle them around in like an even layer over our onion bulbs. I have a nice big bag. I'm going to be very liberal in my application to make sure I get all of my onions kind of covered up nicely. And yep, and I'll do the whole garden bed. So here I have a nice layer. I'll just finish. I'll put the rest on top of the pine needles on top of the onion bulbs, but I wanted to share. I thought this was funny because we got these underneath our Christmas tree. I actually found some Legos that went along. So hey, got to find the missing Lego pieces, I guess. So yeah. So again, these are pine needles from our Christmas tree. They're all dried. I'm just gonna use them as a nice layer of mulch for our onion bulbs. Here are our big girls. They are now banished from our garden because we have our wheat berries and our onions planted. I know it's so sad, but they had so many worms today that should definitely compensate for their banishment.